Something cool happened this week, and well, I mean, I guess more than one cool thing happens per week, but this in particular, it seemed really, I loved it, and I told Rags about it when it happened, and he thought it was cool, so I'm going to share it. So, what happened, okay, so I heard I was inside, and as you can tell, I don't heat my house. Oh, maybe you can't tell, but I don't heat my house, not really, not much. Anyway, so I was inside, and I heard that the squirrel's giving a hawk alert, so I knew there was a hawk out there somewhere. So I went outside, I looked around in the back, I looked around in the woods back here, and I couldn't find the hawk. So I thought maybe it was in the front yard. So I went around the side of the house, I went all the way around, went around the front, looked, didn't see him, came around. So I went all the way around the periphery of the house, came back, and when I came back, condo girl, she was way far away from her cabin that she lives in, and she got my attention. I think she must have realized I was going around. She must have heard me coming back, and so like when I got back to the deck, she kind of moved to get my attention. She was way far away from where she needed to be, but she like kind of moved to. She was the only thing out there moving, so she got my attention, and then she looked at me, and we made eye contact, and she just looked at me like, you know, will you cover me? Because we've done this before, like where I cover her when there's a hawk. I get her, I escort her back to her tree. So but this is the first time she initiated, like asking me for the service, basically. Like she looked at me and we made eye contact, and I walked toward her, and she stayed where she was. And then she looked at me, and we just made totally good eye contact. And then I like nodded, like I gave her like a nod, like, yeah, I'll cover you, go. And she looked at me, and she waited till I nodded, and then she turned and she just ran like hell, and she ran back to her tree. And I like went out and I did what I do, you know, because I move around and I make noise so that I'm the big thing. I'm the thing that's going to attract the attention. I'm the big motion out there. The big noise, the big motion, the big everything, and I'm just big, and and I did that, and so she got back to her cabin, and she climbed up her tree, got in her cabin, and then she went into the porch, because there's like two porches. She went on the first porch, she went up to the second porch, and she turned and she looked at me, and she made eye contact with me like, thank you, and then she went into the cabin. It was so awesome. You know, they're smart animals, so it doesn't surprise me at all, like having lived with them like I do. It doesn't surprise me. It would have surprised me a few years ago. When I first started helping them, shoveling the snow for them, I figured on some level they would appreciate that, but I didn't really understand yet how smart they were. And now if you Google like 10 smartest animals, a whole lot of lists have squirrel in there. It's pretty high up. They're so smart. I mean, like there's no doubt. I've had cats before, and I grew up with cats. I lived with cats. My parents have pictures when I was a baby that I had a cat in my crib. I literally grew up with cats. I was like born into a cat crib. And if parents are supposed to worry about that, my parents didn't. They didn't worry about much. That's probably how I turned out how I did. But they had better things to do. And, you know, I figured, you know what, you're in the world, fend for yourself. I was kind of raised like a squirrel, you know what I mean? Like, here you are, here, you know, you're either going to make it or you're not. And it's a lot. If you think about it, it's a lot like how squirrels get. Think if you were a squirrel, you're born into the world, you're out in the cold, if you're born, depending on what time of year it is, you're born outside, the world is huge, everything around you is huge, every single beast is huge, they all want to eat you, the ones who don't want to eat you pretend they don't see you, and then there's these ridiculous cars going everywhere. I mean, the only thing squirrels don't fear or need to fear, and somehow they realize this, and again, this goes back to being smart. When planes go overhead, there's when they hear the plane sound coming, there's an initial hang on, let me make sure it's okay. And then when they realize it's an airplane, they're like totally cool. They realize they're fine. But think about it. How do they realize that? Like, if you were a squirrel and you looked up, and I mean, the planes that fly over here, they fly kind of low. So, like, you can see them. You can see how huge these things are. Like, how do they know they don't need to fear the plane, but they do need to fear the giant beast, prehistoric freaking birds that fly around here? Like, I don't know how they know the difference, but they do. They're very smart. They're smart in way more ways than that. They trained me. I mean, the very fact that they trained me, they taught me. I remember there was a time where I thought, oh, I wish I could read their mind. I wish I could know what exactly they need from me. They taught me what they need. And there's probably more still I don't know. I don't pretend to think I know everything by any means about squirrels. They're constantly like teaching me and showing me what they need, and how they live and how they figure things out. But I'm always slow. Oh my God. We are not as smart as squirrels. That's another thing. If you look at, like, man, sitting on the floor like this is kind of, my toes aren't doing so good. But but the thing is if you look at the 10 smartest animals, cat and dog aren't on there. And that goes back to what I was saying. I've had cats, and cats are great, and I don't think cats are dumb. But squirrels are smarter. But they kind of have to be, right? Because they live outside. They're born outside. They're not coddled the way like a domestic cat is. So cats may have once been as smart as squirrels, but it's probably been, the domesticated cats have probably had it kind of tamed out of them, so to speak. I don't know. But here's what else I was going to say. Guess what other animal is not on the 10 smartest animals list? Humans. Humans. We're not on the 10 smartest animals list. And there's a reason we're not on the 10 smartest animals list. We don't belong there. Like, when I say all the time that I live outside, and I don't think people really like kind of get it. Like, I live outside. Like, I only come inside. I do come inside to sleep. I didn't intend to when I moved here. I thought I would, because there was a time in life when I lived outside in a tent. Well, when I bought this place, I intended to live outside in the tent. The foxes and stuff kind of unnerved me. I don't know now, and coyotes and stuff. But now that I am used to those better, having lived here, and I chase them, maybe I'd sleep outside in the tent. I don't know. But whatever. I stray. Here's my point. The squirrels are so much smarter than we are. They will all be out there, and all of a sudden, boom, everybody's gone. Everybody's gone. And I'm like, and I know why. I know logically why, but I can't put together what the trigger was. How do they all know? And I mean, boom, like, they all disappear. And they can disappear because I've built them the hides and put up the cabins and all that, so they all have somewhere to go. And that's great. Thanks, Amy. But, like, that's all I needed to do for them. They handle the rest. I don't need to tell them, like, hey, there's danger, everybody, go hide. They know so much faster than I can possibly even process. Like, they are all gone by the time I can even process what the hell just happened. Like, everybody's gone, and I'm like, and then my brain's like, okay, there must be danger. By the time I'm thinking there must be danger, they've already all hidden themselves. They are so quick. Their mind moves quick. Their body moves quick. I mean, they fly. When there's danger, I mean, you can't even, the eye can't catch it. It's amazing. They're incredible. And if I had to live outside and, like, deal with what they deal with, I wouldn't be here, because I'd be dead. I would not have made it. I mean, they are so sharp, so fast. And I'm learning to communicate, with them. Like, there's still stuff I don't know. Like, one of the things that I'm trying to learn is how to figure out the original call. Like, so oh man, I can't tell you how uncomfortable I am right now, but there's nothing to sit on. My stupid house. All right. So maybe one of those little seats. I'll get this over with. All right. What I'm trying to learn how to do is figure out the original call. Like, so they have an alert system, but right now I'm starting to start to pick up where the original alert is, and I don't even know how I know. Like, I don't even know how to explain it yet. But, like, so I'll be in the back, and you've got, squirrels everywhere are alerting, so there's a danger. But what you need to figure out is where's the original alert coming from and where are the repeater alerts? Because there's repeater alerts. Like there can be a hawk in the front yard and a squirrel out there is alerting on it, and the squirrels in the back start alerting because they hear that and they're trying to spread, so that squirrels farther out. So the nice big radius, everybody knows, hey. So what I'm trying to learn is what is the ground zero sound? What does that sound like? And I'm starting to figure that out, sort of. And I don't even know how to explain it. But there's different cries, there's different alerts, and I'm starting to be able to, it's so subtle, at least now, to me it's subtle. Maybe in time it'll be duh. But I'm starting to hone in on the sound of where the original alert is, where the problem is. And the reason that's important is so that once I pick up on that, I can get to the problem faster and take care of it. I mean, look at how smart they are. They've trained somebody who was afraid of birds when she moved here, because I've been attacked by geese before, and it sucks heartily. And I was attacked by birds. I'm a big bike rider, so I would be riding my bike, and I've had birds come down and bite my head. And I had that happen enough to where I started wearing a helmet when I rode my bike, which you should do in the first place. But I did it in order to protect my head from birds attacking it. So I was afraid of birds, but now, man, boom, it's a hawk, I go at it because, whatever, to protect these guys, right? So they trained me to do this. That's how smart they are. They made me their slave. And I love it.